So I recently made a personal wiki, a central hub, one place where my game notes, notes about my home lab could live in one place all together. And it actually started as a desperate fix on my upcoming game called Shipping Away. As I kept progressing on my game, the amounts of notes, story details, and honestly just random information I was jotting down became way too much to handle effectively. I know I needed to do something else. So I did the most sensible thing I could possibly do and made my own personal Wikipedia. I know. It turned into one of the best decisions I could have possibly made. And honestly, it works very, very well. But it definitely didn't start out that way. So before I can show you the final results, we do need to go back to the very beginning. So as all of you may know, I recently built a home lab, and in case you're interested and you haven't seen the video, click on it right here. But in short, I bought a Node desktop off of eBay, installed Proxmox, set up a few essential services, and just like that, I had my very own server. It's been running for about a month now with network attached storage, VPN access, and a UI to manage Docker containers. It's been working very, very well, and I couldn't be happier with my mini data center. But there was a problem. There was a lot of information, and I mean a shit ton of information that I needed to keep track of. You know, it wasn't organized. It wasn't easy to find a piece of information. If you ever use Windows, you could have the fucking file on your fucking desktop. You search for it, and why the fuck did it show me Bing results? So that was just the first part of the problem. I had all the information in regards to my home lab. And let me get me started on my game Shipping Away. For Shipping Away, it's a fucking whole mess. So I had game information on my computer. My girlfriend does a lot of the art, so she had information of that on her iPad. And on top of that, we also have Milanote. So we had information for this one project scattered across the winds, made it extremely impossible to stay organized. I realized I needed a central hub, one place where my game notes, notes about my home labs, and just other notes in general for other projects could live in one place altogether. I could have gone with something like Notion or Google Docs, but I didn't want a subscription-based service or just a cloud platform where I didn't 100% control the hardware. And honestly, if I'm being genuine, I don't want to be at the whims of our tech overlords in case they decide, you know what, this venture is not profitable, let's close it down completely. On top of that, people have actually lost access specifically to their Notion workspaces. Entire years of notes, projects just gone. I didn't want to be in that position. And also, I just don't want a note-taking app. I want a personal wiki. I needed something fully under my control, self-hosted on my own hardware, and completely free. A private secure system that lets me organize, link ideas, and access everything seamlessly. That's when I found Trillium, my personal wiki. Trillium is a free, open-source, hierarchical note-taking app designed for building large personal knowledge bases, and is perfect for anybody juggling multiple projects such as myself. I have my home lab, my upcoming game Shipping Away, and just other projects I have worked on in the past and future projects yet to come. And unlike a normal notes app, Trillium lets you nest notes inside of other notes, link ideas together, embed files and images and other media within notes, track revisions, automate actions with scripts, and customize your dashboard with widgets, again, using script. So it's very customizable to your liking, and overall, it made organizing and accessing my data a breeze, which at the end of the day is the most important thing. You have all this information, but you do need a way to be able to manage it and search it effectively. So with all this in mind, it has everything that I'm looking for and anything that I will possibly need. And just to know, I set up Trillium using Docker Compose, but there are other ways to go about it as well. And in case you want to set it up, I left a link in the description to the GitHub page for Trillium. So now that's it. I'm kind of done glazing Trillium for the moment, but I do need to show you how I currently have my own personal wiki set up. So let me just take you out. Okay, yeah, good. So let's go in here and so here we have Trillium. In my own wiki, I organize everything from my game Shipping Away all the way to my home lab configurations. I have nested notes for game mechanics, art assets, story ideas, system setups, and even little snippets of inspiration I don't want to forget. I can quickly search, link related notes together, and track changes over time. For my personal wiki, everything is organized at the root level. These cards are my top level folders, but the most important ones being Home Lab and Shipping Away. In Home Lab, I have all notes regarding my server. This includes notes on how I set up Trillium within my environment, notes about cron jobs and how I use them within my setup, and some simple notes regarding my VPN. It's not much for right now, but I will be expanding this as I grow my Home Lab. For Shipping Away, I make more use of the more advanced features that Trillium offers in order to stay organized and on top of things. For example, this calendar view that allows me to plan out my week. I also have my game design document within Trillium, and the game design document basically describes the main game mechanics and flow. Prior to this, I had all this scattered across multiple platforms, so having it in one place really consolidated things and made it more efficient to plan out my game. And since I have these notes nested within one another, it gives a natural feel when moving from node to node. This is how I currently have it set up, but the really cool thing about Trillium is that it actually comes with a tutorial section that breaks down all the features that it actually offers and how you can set them up. For example, Trillium supports different node types. We have the ability to lay out nodes within a grid, a list. You can also create nodes within a calendar, and this can help with scheduling. And in case you're interested, you can also organize it as a table, jot down information on a map, as a board very similar to Trello, or just do a basic PowerPoint type presentation. Trillium also offers something called a canvas, which is very similar to Milano. It also allows you to embed web pages within here, similar to like an iframe, and you're actually able to go ahead and create diagrams using Mermaid. Another very powerful tool that Trillium offers is the ability to create your own widget. Here we have a weight tracker widget, and it's very cool how it works underneath the scene. You can add an attribute called render node, and it will render the node that you pointed towards. So it takes this HTML code, it renders it, and it also executes the JavaScript code within it, creating this nice diagram. And you can take this and create a more complex dashboard showing multiple data points or stuff that actually interests you. And I've only shown you a small part of what Trillium has to offer. Even if you don't have a home lab, Trillium runs perfectly on the laptop or desktop. You don't need fancy servers to start building a wiki that can scale with your projects. A personal wiki can be a game changer for anyone juggling multiple projects, lots of scattered notes, or just complex workflows. It's not just about storing information, it's about turning chaos into clarity. You can create a knowledge base